The state of Oklahoma is looking to get an advantage in the NIL game. Oh boy, you got to see the Senate Bill 840. Let's talk about it. Coming up here in about 10 seconds. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. Thanks for pulling up to the YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the Oklahoma House of Representatives who just voted on Senate Bill 840 that could dramatically change things when it comes to NIL and college sports. So you want to stick around and hear about this. But before we do that, if you are new to the channel, hit that like, subscribe, and the bell notification and join the family. We talk a lot of OU football, Colorado football, and college football in general. We are at 8,400 subscribers. Thank you all for the love. We're looking to grow to 10,000 before the season starts. So in order to do that, we're going to expand this coverage. So please join us along the ride. And so let's dive right into this Senate bill, because it's quite fascinating that Oklahoma is looking to pass this that was introduced in January in a way to really circumvent the power of the NCAA. And so there's multiple levels to this, but we're going to start here on the simplest part. First and foremost, this name, image, and likeness bill that the state is looking to pass, it overwhelmingly passed in the House of Representatives at 84-5 votes. This is Senate Bill 840. You can look it up. It is definitely available for public consumption. But this bill itself will basically level the playing field for all of the Oklahoma teams, like University of Tulsa, University of Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State, as they're saying it. Now, this is what the Senate and the Oklahoma Congress is saying it will do, and granted it should, but there's some really crazy stuff that's deep inside of this that makes it look like we're going to put together a pay-for-play system, and I'll explain what that actually means. So first and foremost, SB 840 virtually eliminates all restrictions when it comes to who can represent student athletes on their NIL deals. Let's peel that back. And it's going to allow universities to support NIL deals from third parties. So it's going to let these schools kind of have a hand into the NIL deals and allow them to help, I guess, barter some of them or make some of these deals or promote them for these players, which is crazy. And it gives some schools some power to prevent students from having their NIL activities interfere with their collegiate studies as well as team activities, which is another interesting wrinkle into this. It's giving the schools the ability to have a say in how these deals are finalized and how they're executed on. I don't think that that's a bad thing, in a way, because, I mean, for the most part, you're there as a student athlete. You're there to play the sport. You're there to go to class, since that's technically how we want to label it right now. And I don't see a problem with schools being able to say, no, these cannot interfere with team activities, just as long as team activities those guidelines are followed in that capacity, which I expected to be done here in Oklahoma. I'm not really concerned about the schools here doing that, but some additional things that they've added in there is requiring students to take financial literacy classes and contract courses. I don't know how that's supposed to help or what that's supposed to do. And granted, I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, well, that's a good thing for the students. I'm not going to disagree on that part. I'm confused as to when are these classes going to be given, because a lot of times in collegiate sports, students are restricted on kind of what degrees they can get unless you're like a premier athlete or a star athlete on the team. So we've got to make sure that we align that properly with the studies that some of these students want to pursue and allow for them to pursue the degrees that they want. Now, some degrees do, line up during practices, and that's usually why certain degrees are discouraged. So we'll see how that works out. Now, there's two nuggets here that really jumped out to me. First and foremost, it doesn't require student athlete compensation to be in line with market value at all. So they can do what they want to do. And it does not count scholarships as compensation. I would like y'all to understand that. Scholarships are not compensation. the athletic programs pay for those scholarships. They pay the schools for the scholarships. So to me, that is not a piece of compensation because the money does not go to the students. It goes to the school. So they're just basically robbing Peter to pay Paul. Which, granted, we need to make sure that we understand that scholarships are not compensation. And I love that they have put that in there as a note. Now, the last thing that jumped out to me in this bill is I'm going to read this article and put it on the screen for you all. So in the bill, it's going to also cover these schools from punishment from the NCAA when it comes to NIL-related violations and anything committed by a collective. This is basically what this says. According to the bill, a collegiate athletic association shall not authorize its member institutions to entertain a complaint, open an investigation, or take any other adverse action against a post-secondary institution for engaging in any activity protected in the Student Athlete Name, Image, and Likeness Rights Act, or for involvement in student athlete name, image, and likeness activities. So basically, they're saying a big middle finger to the NCAA and saying, you're not going to do anything to us. We're going to allow whatever we want to allow here in the state of Oklahoma, and you're not going to do anything about it. Now, you may be asking yourself, why does the state feel the need to pass a law similar to this? Well, this was actually mentioned by those that decided to bring in this. John Holden, he mentioned this, that the reason why you need this is that when California and Texas are passing their laws, if there isn't a law here in Oklahoma that's similar to it, then we may as well shut down these institutions and no longer play football or any other sport, because being able to compete is going to be borderline impossible. And I agree with them to an extent. I don't think that it eliminates the ability to compete, but it doesn't make any sense for all these states to have all these different rules. So federally, we do need something across the line to allow all these students to make money off their name, image, and likeness and just call it a day. Say, yes, they can do that. They can engage in their own activities. They can get agents for NIL deals. And at the original inception that we saw from like California and Texas is that they did not allow these deals to go past college. So that means that if a player decides to sign with someone for NIL deals while in college, those deals end after college. Once college is over, you can't sign a deal that's going to lead to your NFL career. You can only sign deals that are based in college. So I want a lot of people to get that clear, because I've had a few people ask me that questions in passing by that, hey, if they sign this deal, then they're going to lock themselves up with Nike for the next, 15 years. No, they can't do that. It's for college and college only. These deals cannot go past the collegiate seasons. Now, granted, that is how everything was initially put in play. There could be some changes that have been added, but we're not going to jump into that one. But I find this all fascinating in the end, and we'll talk more about this in the live stream later on today, most likely. But what jumped out to me really heavy is the way that they just hamstrung the NCAA and cut that Achilles and said, hey, we're going to do pay for play. It's going to be done legally across on top, so you can see it. The collectives can do what they do, and you're not going to punish us because you didn't put any rules in place. So NCAA, the ball is in your court now. You need to make a decision. Do you want to, enforce rules, or are we just going to let everybody continue to do what they do? Me personally, I enjoy the Wild Wild West. It will level itself out in time once everybody figures out how they want to do this. But right now, I'm totally enjoying it because luckily my school's got money. So I don't have to really be concerned about not being able to compete. If you're a Sooner fan, you understand Oklahoma has money. They just spend it where they want to. The collectives, the boosters, they have money. They just spend it where they want to. They just don't give it to everybody. So I'm stoked about it. Now that we're here at the end, hop in the comments. Let your boy know what your thoughts on this SB 840 bill that's going to be going into law. Most likely will go to the governor's table. And how you feel about, student athletes, getting this type of freedom and our legislation deciding that they deserve it. If you're new to the channel, hit the like, subscribe, and bell notification and join the family. 8,400 subs. Thank you all again. We're going for 10,000 before the season starts. So we've got a lot of work to do to get that extra 1,600 before August. So we'll have a live stream later today. If you're seeing this video in the afternoon, we'll have a live stream later today. And we'll talk more about, college football on the channel. See you in a bit. Also, YouTube says to watch one of these videos, so you may as well go ahead and keep going since you made it to the end. Check out more of the content. Peace.